Welcome to the TFG podcast, a place where I have sit downs with local creatives, entrepreneurs, influencers, and high performers, and we talk everything and anything within those lines. Happy New Year to everyone out there, and we hope you had an awesome end of the year and an even better start of 2018. For this year's first podcast, I'm excited to have a sit down with Zach Garcia. He is the creator of the local fashion brand Fingers Crossed. Zach is a graduate of the New Mexico State Fashion Program and a resident of Las Cruces, New Mexico. His brand has a strong focus on hats and repurposed fashion. He focuses on bringing all things back to life. Join us as we discuss the accessibility of fashion, the power of collaboration, and being hungry for success. Hope you guys enjoy. You can check out Zach and his work through social media or his e-commerce site. Links will be found in the description. If you enjoy our conversation, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. With that being said, enjoy. Here with a new podcast, I'm talking to Zach, head of Fingers Crossed, a super cool, super creative streetwear brand specializing in caps and hats and sombreros, and maybe not sombreros, but bags and all that good stuff. And how's it going, man? How are you?
I'm doing good tonight. I'm glad I could be here. I'm pretty hyped to see where we can have in discussion today.
Cool, awesome. So before we get started, talk a little bit about who you are and what you do, and a little bit of your backstory so people can know what's up.
Oh yeah, cool. My name is Zach Garcia. I've been going by Fingers Crossed. It's been something that's been on my mind for better half of like 5-6 years. I've wanted to pursue clothes probably my whole life. I think it's just a good way of expression and probably more things than that, but most of all expression. Yeah, I like making caps, hats, and accessories are my passion currently.
Cool. What kind of got you into fashion and all that good stuff, dude?
I think I was always, at least when I was young, I seen some pictures of when I was a kid. Maybe as my mom dressing me or something, but I think I always liked wearing clothes. The idea of I don't know, a movie type things where you think someone's cool, or there's that level you want to pursue. Oh, I want to be cool, I think that's how I started with clothes. Yeah, even when I was a kid.
Yeah. The more or less kind of the image or the concept, right, of being in that moment or being that they're portraying through the clothes, because that's similar how I got into fashion. I grew up in a household that was just women for most of my life. And when I was young, I didn't have a lot to do, so I would just go around looking through magazines that my mom or my aunts will have. It was Cosmopolitan, or it was all those women Vogue and stuff like that. And I would see all the clothing and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. But I didn't know it was an actual something people did, fashion was a thing. I'm like, wow, that's so cool, because you see the people, either somebody in this majestic dress, or this guy looks super cool because he's dressed he can take any girl he wants or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's that kind of put me into fashion as well. Kind of started kind of picking my bone about trying to get into that kind of world.
Yeah, I think there is a whole magic, and it goes with clothes. We can't tell as many stories without clothes, or how we want to be portrayed or represented. And I think that's the one way everyone can try, at least whether you have money or not.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes or not wearing them, or I don't know, self-expression through however customizing your stuff is cool.
Yeah,
So,
I get you. It's that's something I kind of, at least personally, I don't like to get truly involved with higher end brands, and I think I've told you this before. It's just, I feel that fashion, you're saying, should be accessible to everybody. Looking good and being able to portray who you are shouldn't be something that should be reserved for those who have the money for it, or those who belong in a certain elite group. It should be something that everybody should have access to, and that's one of the reasons I like your brand personally, is that it's a streetwear brand where it's you created something that's more accessible for people, that people can wear and people can show. Because to me, that's a real fashion. The fashion you see people wearing when you go out to school, or when you go out to a store or out to a party, whatever they're wearing, that's the fashion. It's not, to me, the fashion that I see in runways. Yeah, it's great, it's awesomely made, whatever, but it's not the fashion you see every day.
Yeah, I think that is a big goal of mine towards future goals of design and present, is just to present something that's really raw, and people maybe have or have not seen, but they've never seen it the way I'm gonna show you. I don't know. I think, like you're saying, no, you don't have to be rich or something, but I think it's cool to also want to have the capabilities to buy or sell expensive clothes, stuff that's quality. I think is important, even though it's important to like not be buying new constantly. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, like yeah, I get you. Like, make have a product that has that the quality and that guarantee that it's something well made, that it's something that's gonna like last, and that's not. It's not. They're like not ripping you off.
Yeah, something that's not everyday necessarily. You know, I mean, you see some high end bags and stuff like that, but even for some of those people, it ain't every day. And what is everyday clothes that you can make that is for everyone but new at the same time?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's like an untapped area of like just constant repurposing, maybe even, or anything possible. Like, I think I've been on to like an idea of customization lately, but I haven't actually pursued much of it because I need to make my own designs, I feel like. But like the further I learn and grow with my designs and wants, I learn that there's just so much shit on the earth. And we just, I don't know if like some days what I should be doing is making new clothes, or maybe like making those new clothes out of old things or clothes or something, because it's just kind of bad. Like, I don't know. Maybe we don't see it, but there's stores for a reason. Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something like interesting to something to consider of how I feel like I see. Well, I don't know how I feel, but I think a lot of times like there's that barrier that when you come into like fashion or anything like that, you have to make something new, and like you said, you can just repurpose things and just you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just kind of have to give it your touch, in a sense, you know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty perfect way of saying it. You know, giving it your touch, but at least still trying to be new.
Yeah, like make it important. Yeah, making something unique out of it, and making something that has a different story to it per se, versus like something that you're just retelling the same story, like repurposing a certain textile or a certain garment to something different and just give it a different feeling, a different life, a different purpose than it maybe didn't have before because it was just like forgotten.
Yeah, there is too much that it is like there's some decades there was not enough made, or there's some stuff that's being overmade, you know. And so I don't know, it's kind of been just something that's on my mind lately, is like why I should be making more stuff for the earth, instead of just like using stuff that's already here, like more or less. I don't know, it makes it like an interesting project, I guess. So I think the idea of like overextended project is cool, but with a good meaning, at least, I guess. Because I don't know, I have a bunch of crap already, you know? And I think to myself, it's like, oh man, what do I do with all this stuff, you know? So it's like, what are all my friends' stuff? It's like, you meet some friends that have clothes that, you know, like they buy old stuff and reuse it or something like that. And no telling what you can make, you know? So I don't know. It's weird. It wasn't something I really thought I would like to get into, because I felt like it was like second rate, like, oh, you made something out of something that you didn't really make,
like it's not worth
your name on it. It's kind of weird. It's a weird idea, like why would I put my name on this pair of pants or something, which I don't not necessarily gonna do, but I would like to rather make like a pair of pants into 5 hats or something.
Yeah, you know? Just take that, the kind of, in that sense, that not necessarily like use that same pattern, like, I don't know, put studs or distress it and then call it yours, but taking that fabric instead of like having to go around and look for like a quality, like you can find quality denim in like a thrift shop, or exactly. like a kind of like a Plato's Closet or something like that, and you can reuse that fabric, and that's quality denim, like from some higher end brands, and you can put it in your product. It's still fabric, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's a big reason that I'm inspired for this too, is because in the area you and I live, there is just not as much those kind of
there's no raw material. There's
there's nothing that is like anything better than we can buy in the stores unless we go and take something apart. So sometimes I think, you know, the best way to do it is just like you said.
And it's
quality, and it's way better denim.
And when you think about it,
when
you think about it like in the business sense, like you just cut that overhead cost, man. When like how much does a yard of denim cost here in El Paso, you know, and how much Like, can you actually even where can you actually get leather here in El Paso? You know what I mean?
Honestly,
Or in
like,
Cruces.
exactly. I don't even know where I would
Where
get
where would you
stuff
get
that
that?
I'm looking for.
But what if you go to a thrift shop and you find a leather bag? I don't know. That's from Guess from the '80s. That's some mom in her 40s wanted to sell off because she wanted money for coke. I don't know. I'm not.
Right.
I'm just building up stories, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that exactly though. There's just
But-
a lot of like really nice material out there that can just still be reused for 5 other people to wear, which is, I guess, back to the point of like, why am I making 5 things out of one thing?
Why wouldn't you?
But it's better to have a second life if you can give it 6.
Yeah,
I
but
guess,
like, like, why question yourself? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, what's wrong with it?
yeah, I don't know.
Like, what's wrong with it? Like,
Well,
honestly, when you
it's
think about
not
it, like,
in
what's
my eyes, what's wrong with it? But it's to some maybe of the general public, they might feel like it's not something that they would wear because it was repurposed instead of brand new. I don't know. I think there's like a lot of
yeah. I mean,
that
I think
in mindset with
Yeah.
clothes as well.
and I think it's I would say it will come to determining like your market. Like you can't make clothes. You can't like when you. I remember if there's something that the university gave me besides a debt to the government was some knowledge, and it was I remember that like during marketing classes they would tell me like you can't say that your market is to everyone. You know,
I hated that. I don't think that's true, but
You don't?
it's very true. No, well, I don't like to think of it in design terms that my market can't be everybody. I think that's just ridiculous. I think my
Why?
market.
That's interesting.
Well,
You're the
why
first person
not?
I've
Because-
heard say that.
I don't know. Why can't I sell to anybody in like I'm in one industry that is, I don't know, a bad example of, but how food is represented. Everybody has to get food.
Mhm.
So why can't everybody wear, I mean, I'm not trying to be like corporate, I guess, which is how I define that, but I don't know. Just keep it for everybody.
No,
Walmart
I,
isn't for everybody.
yeah,
and I
no,
get
but
that, but if
but
you're
I-
offering like cheap goods and no service, that makes sense. But if you're offering good all the way across the board from quality to service
Uh-huh.
and prices, then it'd be cool to make everybody happy. I don't think it's too hard.
Interesting.
It can't be.
No,
Everyone wants to look the same.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but there's like I think a lot of factors that go into it, like demographics and psychographics, where you have to think about
money
like
and everything too.
money, how they think about
How many
spending
people
their
in the
money,
family
how
or
many,
something like that.
like, and I think that's at least with marketing, because I think I kind of understand what I'm trying to say. Like at least I said things. I think fashion should be accessible for everybody. I think everybody should have access, but I understand that like any other product, you must have to lock into something, because if you're trying to do everything, my mom would always tell me like when I was younger, she said you try to do everything and you end up doing nothing because you're too busy trying to do everything.
That's,
what I mean?
that's a good one. Your mom's wise.
No, yeah, well, she's Mexican, so you know how my Mexican moms are. They're wise, but sometimes they can be jerks. But that's very true, you know, because at least that's what I discovered through my life when I would like go to MSU and stuff like that. Like I would try to do all these projects sort of like from different classes and stuff like that, and I would do them. I might finish them, but they're a bit all mediocre, or I wouldn't finish one, and you know what I mean? Because you're trying to do everything, you don't do something. And I think it's more or less the idea when it comes to marketing is that, yeah, like everybody should have the access to it, but you must also specialize in the fact that there's going to be a specific group of people that are more inclined to your product and your service than other people, you know? And I think there's going to be that group of people who, at least for your fashion and your products, and when you sell this, I feel it's more towards a market that really appreciates character in clothing and appreciates the like of uniqueness and of more limited runs.
Oh yeah, I
and,
think
and
that
well
is
and well made
very-
stuff versus like other people who might want the latest trends at cheap prices that might like go to fashion, like a fast fashion retailer, you know?
Well, yeah, and I think there's a good middle point in all that, you know, where you can supply some stuff that isn't fashion warehouse type sweatshop things and still keeping people happy, you know. Made in America was like 90% of the world for a long time, clothes wise at least, you know, and until recently it's really only down to like 2%, which is unfortunate, you know. So it means like if some of the other members of your podcast and I make up 2% of the world of people that make clothes in the United States, it's kind of sad. So I don't know. I mean, which is also exclusive at the same time, you know. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, but like I think there's much more factors into that.
You're right,
completely like labor, cost of labor, and regulations. Like there's so many things at play, and I think at least it's very important to kind of be honest and try to see in those concepts like what's really happening and how does things really affect everything, you know. But I agree with you, like it's like I rather have a product that's exclusive and like more limited than having to like have something that I can see some other person or a bunch of other persons have.
Well, yeah, and I think that's cool, and I think that just is like knowing when to market. I guess if we are still talking about selling one thing to everybody, it would be knowing when to market per the decline and rise and obsolescence. And
through the fashion life cycle.
You could know, because like how you're saying right now, you're more like an innovator, you know, like you're not necessarily a follower of fashion, so you kind of want to make your own stuff, right? I mean,
yeah, just like you
look your own way, you know. You're not, you like elements of stuff, but you overly make your own style. And I don't know, so we're the trendsetters. If we could market that cool stuff to the trendsetters, that'd be the first part of everybody. Then maybe market it to the, you know, like the followers, and then, you know, when it's more towards everybody in general, and then when it's going out, keep selling that.
Yeah, no, and
not like
and
guys like
yeah, no, yeah, and
cheaper or nothing, just
yeah,
keep it
and it's
to
I think
everybody.
it's also like you have to consider like the time it takes. You know, sometimes we at least I think that's something I've been learning at least through the past year, in my professional and personal developments, like learn to be patient. Things sometimes take time, and I think at least we for our generation and our age group, we want things more fast and want them now when we want it, because that's kind of like technology has created that kind of behavior. I mean, technology has been created many factors, but I think one of the things that has maybe affected us negative as a society is that it's created this kind of we want it when we want it. We want to have it when we want to have it, because through the phone we can access information, we can access friends, we can access whatever. And I think when it comes to like we're talking about fashion, we have to, like you're saying, like we have to get the innovators, you know, to accept the trend or the fashion, and then you'll get the people, because they're influencers, you know, the innovators are influencers, people who kind of like the people look up to, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The people that want to like look cool because of those people. Yeah.
And then and then you have the people who follow them come, and then the larger market comes after that. But it's a process, man. It takes time, you know. Like,
yeah, that's something I think too, though, makes it exclusive and a matter, but also like sets everyone apart. Is I just don't think enough people know how to work for something at a given time and get it done to see it in a time manner. Or they think too big, or
or they don't set realistic expectations.
Yeah, and so it just can't be done. And I think there's a lot of micro batch, at least stuff small, that is exclusive in that way, and exclusively to people to buy it, just because not everyone can get their hands on stuff. So I don't know. I think time is definitely of an essence, but it's how you use it. Because I learned that in college. I mean, I would screw around all the time and not get anything done, and like you said, turn in something that, you know,
mediocre, and then you know you can do much better, but you're like, fuck, I just needed to finish it because I was doing all this other stuff. I was trying to do all this stuff, and I think like related to that, it's like I think an important aspect is about being honest with yourself. I think it's the most important thing is
you gotta know what you're capable of.
Yeah, too. Exactly. And that's the honesty, you know, what am I good at and what am I not good at. And a lot of people don't like to do that, because it sucks to tell yourself, to notice that you're not good at something, or that you suck at this because of this, you know. And it's like, at least last year, that's what I delved a lot into, was like self-awareness, this idea of like knowing yourself and knowing who you are and what you do and your strengths and your weaknesses, because it really kind of gives you the opportunity to build and have that solid foundation, versus like telling yourself lies that you're good at this or you're able at that, and then
something that's just embedded in our culture currently, though.
Yeah.
How many people get told that they could do something, or that what they can do really good is what they should do, or what, you know, maybe they shouldn't focus on doing everything. I think that is like another part of the thing, kind of like with emotion, almost there, you know, like people are meant to like shun and hide that kind of things they're good at sometimes, because they're embarrassed, or they don't know if they should feel good because they're good at something. Or
it's kind of like we're kind of told or guided through like pop culture and everything is to be like more polished, you know, like, and
there's definitely like a pedestal we hold a lot of things on.
And it's all about like taking up persona when you go out and you interact with people. And I think just because, like, for example, how you can customize your Instagram pictures and your filters and everything, and then you make it look all nice and artsy, or your Facebook or whatever your webpage, but it's not real, you know. And then I think that's kind of created that culture where like we're not willing to just simply accept like our shortcomings as people, at whatever it is, and also our strengths, and kind of just build from that. And instead we just kind of build ourselves a world of lies where we're like, oh no, I'm really good at this. No, what do you know? Like, you don't know anything.
Yeah, well, we've been maybe babied a little bit.
No, yeah,
Not
for
a lot
sure,
of
for
people
sure,
can't
for
accept
sure.
critiques.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't ever really have any
No.
critiques in college until I went to the art department,
Mhm.
And then people were like, oh, well, this is cool, but you could do this, or
Yeah.
this ain't cool, and you could do this instead, or
Yeah.
various things that like ain't meant to bring people down, and people don't know maybe necessarily like because they don't know their limit, because they don't say it, or
Mhm.
know
Yeah,
how like
yeah.
their strengths are, what they think they're good at. When someone, I don't know, it's interesting. Like,
Yeah,
I know, it's a whole
and
thing.
I
I guess
think-
closer, they go further deeper for sure.
Yeah, no,
very,
yeah.
very deep on
And,
people's
yeah,
personalities.
and I mean, it's very, like you said, it's very important. It's interesting because I feel like a lot of these like are coming, like the millennial generation or whatever, it be very pampered, very protected, in every sense and many shapes and forms. And I think that's not that's the best. That's not the best thing. It's important to understand that sometimes you don't do things right, because that way when you do things right, that you did things right. You know what I mean?
Well, I think we're one of the maybe, I wouldn't say generations, because I'm sure every decade has somebody
Something-
says that we're gonna make changes and stuff.
Changes.
But
And
I think
yeah.
as far as it goes, maybe we'll at least see them, or we're at least a part of them, and partially because of fashion or
No, yeah,
how
no.
self-expression
No, and
things like that. I think we got a big turn on a different way for everybody,
Yeah,
because
no.
it's more accessible.
Yeah, like I said, no, in general, like you're right, I agree with you, man. I mean, we're the first generation in human history that is the most educated, that is the most connected, that is the most financially capable. Like, we've never had a generation in the history of humanity that has been so informed. Like,
Yeah.
you think
I think a lot of us are young and informed for sure, because we care
like,
enough.
no,
We're tired of like.
and not only
stuff.
that, like technology has made that happen. Like the
Yeah,
internet,
no
like
doubt.
the internet isn't old, man. It's a baby. Like, it may start like I think the 70s, and it really started to take off around the early 2000s more than anything.
That
Yeah,
era is tight
you know?
because of the internet. That era took like the whole, and because of that,
it's a-
even the
it's a
fashions are crazy
transformation.
because of that kind of technology that advanced. There's like, oh shit, there's like this.
And it's a transformation.
type
It's
of
gonna
thing.
change everything. And I mean, and I think this generation is coming. It's really gonna change a lot in that sense, because we're that generation. We're that generation that has that's been more connected with other people in other countries. That's been more connected to like information and what's really happening. And I think that's really gonna shape us. And it's just technology has come in and really. I mean, we've talked about this before, like how it's just changed everything. Like, you don't have to have a middleman anymore. If you want to put your product out there, you want to put out like this podcast, dude. I just uploaded YouTube and it's there. Like, what if before I wanted to do something, I would have to probably, like in the 90s or in the 80s, have to find a recording studio,
Go
have to find
broadcast it or
a
something.
broadcasting place. Now I just spend some like $100 on a sound card, and then buy some cheap microphones, and then I'm recording. You know what I mean? Download this.
Yeah, we are very lucky.
You know what I mean?
we
In that
are,
sense,
like,
in that
definitely.
sense. Yeah, and I think it's amazing that we're in that generation.
Our voice as a whole, I think, is the big fact, like big picture of it, and that's cool, because
Mhm.
we all have different mediums, but we can all talk about the same thing.
Yeah.
Or we can talk against the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's and like I think that's the great thing about our generation. But then, like, touching back on what we were talking about, like one of those downfalls is that the capacity to not be able to see the reality of certain things, like our downfalls like that. And I think like that
We
also.
got it damn good, and it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to look at
Yeah.
some things in
Yeah.
a rough way sometimes. I mean, shoot, that's like another reason that social media kind of messes with some people, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
because
look at
you'll
it
see.
and
You'll
I'm
see.
like, dang, we got it good here, or I got it lucky,
Yeah.
or something, when I don't know, man, maybe I don't, but the other people,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, no,
it's
and
kinda
not
weird.
only that, like you'll see on social media, like Instagram people or YouTube people or whatever that become millionaires or whatever. You're like, oh, I can do that. I can easily do that. But then you don't, because social media just puts them there. But you don't think about, wait, there's all this work that goes behind it.
Oh yeah,
You know what
people
I mean?
forget that you can't just become Instagram famous, and
Yeah.
that means you got $1 million.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Twitter famous or
Yeah,
like whatever.
It's kind of crazy that.
But
how
because
that
we
started.
see it so constantly, like, oh, this is so easy. But I mean, it's much more easier, of course, because there's not a middleman to make you famous. But it still takes work, Like, success still takes work, and I think at least a lot of our people generation, maybe I could be wrong, right? But it feels that they don't want to. They think success should be fast.
Yeah,
They don't have
there's
that patience that we're
definitely-
talking about. We don't just wait up, just keep working every day, and
Yeah,
build
the
to it,
lifestyle
build to
of
it,
an
build to it.
entrepreneur ain't easy.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna fall no matter what you're doing anyway, and that's something too. Is no matter what goal, maybe what track you're on, you're probably gonna have your downfalls and your uprisings, and it's just gonna be hard no matter what you're doing though.
Yeah,
And so it's like, how much harder do you want your life to
Exactly.
be? Is kind of what the thing is, and I think
like you were
whole
saying right
bunch of
now,
that.
we're before recording, like how hungry are you? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
are
how
we
hungry
all
are
gonna
you?
eat together, or are you
Yeah.
just eating, dog?
Yeah, how hungry are we that we want to achieve things? You know, how hungry are we that we want to get things done, like that you want to make things happen? And I think, hungry is like the cool woke way of saying that Twitter kind of put out, but like it's just pretty much how passionate are you, how driven are
yeah.
you? You know, how driven are you to achieve what you want? Like, are you willing to take a downfall? Are you willing to
I
like?
met some hungry people that say they hungry, but they don't want to eat.
No.
I met hungry people that cannot eat. You know, so it's like, how much can you do? Like, there's a lot of people that want to say they're hustlers, but when it comes down to it, they ain't paying nothing. They
No.
ain't got nothing.
Or
Not
they
necessarily things,
their
but
first
they
their
ain't
yeah
showing nothing for it.
yeah exactly. That's even so
I think
important.
that is like
Uh.
important to keep your success to yourself sometimes, but maybe still like
Have put your money where your mouth is, in a sense, you know.
sometimes when you're talking, you gotta
Like, if you're
show what yours worth. Sometimes,
Yeah, and that's like-
sometimes there's only one way you can do that aside from what your work is doing for you.
Yeah, like I feel, well, at least I see it, and there's one thing that I kind of pull myself away from and kind of disregard. Is like all these people that you'll see them like on social media or whatever, like they'll put motivational quotes or inspirational pictures, and like you're saying words, you're not acting.
Yeah, the
You're
only
not-
thing
you're-
you
you're
should
not-
be
you-
doing is getting that money, but
Getting
not
posting.
get that money.
Put in work. You know, put in work. Let your success speak more than your post or your inspirational pictures. Like, don't make yourself. And that thing that goes back to that thing that we're talking about right now. It's like people aren't self-aware, aren't honest with themselves, so they build this house of lies. Like, they build on it. Like, yeah, if I tell myself, oh, this quote that whoever lists entrepreneur or CEO said, and then people like it, yeah, I'm getting somewhere, you know. I'll achieve. 2018 is gonna be my year. What, you know, I'm gonna conquer whatever. I'm a king or whatever. And then people like it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But they don't do anything. They don't do anything to achieve it.
See, I think that maybe I have a big influence to want to be acting out like that because of skateboarding. You know, I mean, you asked earlier in the conversation where I kind of where it started, and skateboarding is a big part, but it's just like another thing that if you want to be good at something, you just can't give up. You know, so like if that means sports or skating or sewing or whatever it is your thing, you gotta just do it. You know, like, and that's one thing is like, I think maybe it's not that we're not even self-aware, we're just kind of lazy too. Because we have it good, you know.
Yeah.
There's like some setbacks because of like, oh, I could be doing this, but I'm gonna just fucking kick it fat and sit here
I'm gonna
do something else, you know. Like,
get you.
I find myself, I think it's a rut sometimes, but I think we all get in those kind of things where you just ain't working your hardest. You know?
You're not putting in the work. As
What
simple
is
as that.
it? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that it can show when you are though.
Oh,
It
definitely.
immediately
No,
shows.
work.
It's really
yeah,
interesting.
work.
Like,
Work
you can
when you
see when someone's like trying to do something or getting done. Like, you know, like who the hustler is. You can tell.
See,
you don't have to hear it.
you can see exactly. You can see people who have invested into their work and themselves because they carry themselves differently. They behave
And
differently.
that can go down to anything too. Like even just people that be like, I need a job, and then they get a job no matter what it is. 'Cause they gotta get it. They gonna get a car. They gonna get a house. Whatever it is. You know, there's those people that are just gonna do it no matter what they're like, how bad the job is, or you know what you know, like I don't know. There's like that's like a level of hustle to me. I have a friend that like moved from California, stayed at the homie's house for a little bit, got up on his feet, got up off his feet, got up on his feet. Fast though, you know, for anybody I ever met, just to come out of nowhere and just run things. There's people out there that are just capable. Maybe it's just capability, maybe not even desire sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
Some people are capable of stuff, and some people are just incapable. And then I guess how we're talking, there's those people that think they're incapable, or
vice versa. Yeah. And also there's people who just don't want to have anymore, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's people who are fine.
Yeah, there's
with
some
just having
middle
a
spot, being a cog in the
that just
gear.
want to have a normal basic life, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's why I would say like I don't like.
I think that goes back to the American dream though.
Yeah.
Being comfortable.
Comfortable.
You know, having what you got and making sure you always got it.
Yeah.
You know,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
if
no.
that's for you, that's for you, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, but I think, I mean, you have to stay true to yourself, and if you're trying to say out there that you're trying to hustle, you're trying to be an entrepreneur or a creative, like, you know, walk the talk. You know, do have stuff to perform, have stuff to show. Like, show up to the markets, show up to the pop-ups, or like invitations. Like, put in the work. Don't be saying that.
Yeah, and it's one thing too. You got to go to anything you can.
Yeah.
Like, I think part of that is like, if you want to really do something, and maybe it's around here too, you got to be kind of starting to become a part of the community. People got to recognize your face. Like, if that means you're going to shows you don't even like the music for, or like just going to random events around town and just trying to
try to see what's up, because you never know what
like,
you never see what opportunity is gonna come out. Like, you never see. Like, there's one of my top influencers is Gary Vaynerchuk, and have you heard of him?
I don't think I recognize the name.
Yeah, well, he's an entrepreneur, and he's like a digital marketing CEO. His agency specializes like on digital marketing and specifically like social media marketing, and he's really good at it. Anyways, he says that one thing that he said that kind of always stick with me is that people are afraid to put out content, whatever it be, because what people say, and because they don't have enough followers, or because they won't get enough likes. Like, all you need is one like, or one view, or one correct person you talk to.
Exactly.
And
I think I recognize this.
And then that's one more than zero. Like, you say, oh, it's one more, whatever, but that's one more than you had. You know, that's one more than that's one more than you had being at home sitting and thinking about, oh, how am I gonna do this successful? Go out and put in the work. Like, share content, create stuff, put it out there, because all it takes is one person. One person that knows somebody, one person that likes your stuff. They might introduce you to somebody who can get you there, whatever. It's all. That's all it takes.
That goes full circle. You know, I think that's full circle to meeting you, and I appreciate that. You know, for, you know, like how you're saying, if it wasn't for having known you or someone else, maybe I wouldn't have been able to do the show in El Paso. Shout out to Adrian and you.
Yeah, for sure.
There at the Lowbrow Palace.
Thanks.
But
no, yeah,
it's like how you're saying though. It was just one person that I knew, and it could be another person I knew on some other site that leads me to somewhere. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think network is big. So
yeah, and it's about that. Just putting,
part
and it's
too though.
Yeah, and then just putting yourself out there and like, just making sure you do networking right. I think that's what I've been teaching myself, is that you have to do networking in the sense that don't treat people as treat people like as bank accounts, in the sense that I can't ask you to do something for me if I haven't first given you value, you know? And that's what I'm teaching myself to do, is like, first give value, deliver value to people, like do things for people, because you just can't come up to somebody and be like, oh, hey, I know you know me, let's do business. Like, that's not how real networking works, you know?
Yeah, I dig that. That's a good.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I can't ask you to, like, I can't go to a bank and pull out money if I haven't deposited first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think
it's like,
that's a good thing.
And that's
in our area, maybe we are able to do that pretty easily too.
Yeah.
So
And I think a lot of people
cool.
who network don't do it properly, because they see you and they're like, what can you do for me? Before asking, what can I do for you? You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of like forced collabs, I guess.
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
You
No,
know?
yeah.
People that just like want to do it but aren't fully invested, maybe, or even vice versa.
Yeah,
or
and when stuff like that is forced, when things aren't done right, you can see it in the final product, whatever it be. You can see it. You can see that something wasn't right, something wasn't happening, something wasn't correct. But that's at least what I'm teaching myself when it comes to working. Is like, you just have to approach people and connect with them and engage them, and then see what you can do for them. You know, and I think there's always more. I think there's more. I've seen it myself, and there's like a movement more towards like, just be positive and just like deliver value, help people out.
Yeah, I think a lot
of
people
there's
see positivity all around them, and you can only do that by being positive. Or
and deliver it, like adding value to people's lives. You know, it's as simple as that. Like, people, you'll get more of a return of investment, and speaking of that term, by adding like value to people's lives than you would if you were just like, oh, let me ask you for this or something. You know what I mean? Just collaborate with people, do stuff, because you never know what might lead.
Have interest in it at least, or just talk about it. You know, I mean, maybe you don't always have to get it done, but getting the ideas out there sometimes make a bigger happening than even making stuff. Sometimes, you know, like letting some people know that, you'd like to work with them. Maybe sparks enough interest in their mind that they have ideas of their own, and that could lead who knows where. Or maybe they would rather not and know someone else that would fit. Or I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you say right now. Like it's that mentality. Like, are we gonna eat or are you gonna eat? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all gotta eat.
And you know, it's like people often think it's like, oh, I gotta eat, but there's just so much. There's no reason for you just to eat. Like, there's just so much. You know, there's just so much out there. Why you don't have to, like, if you have to bring someone else down to get up, you're not doing it right. That's what I think. You don't have to break down someone else's building to make your building look bigger. Like, just build your building, you know, just build yourself up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a good one, man. Just build your building. I think that would be a great, you know, fingers crossed type of graphic, actually. I could dig that. That fits a vibe and a scene right there. Yeah. Might write it down, but...
Might charge you royalties.
Hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's make some sales, man. Let's eat, man. Let's eat.
But yeah, man, I mean, I think that's just the mentality that at least I try to approach, and I think you're approaching, and people who I've had in this podcast approach, is that of like wanting to build together, like build each other up, you know, like still do our things like as individuals, but have that mentality that we can all have big skyscrapers.
I think,
you know?
Yeah, I think that there's as much of there's like a want to do it yourself. There's a lot of like also like self-awareness, and some of us that know what we do good. So maybe it's easier sometimes to focus with a bunch of people or focus with somebody, just for like simplicity and just so you can see something happen. Sometimes maybe it's not even about the product. It's just about making it, you know, like how it is about talking about it. Sometimes it's just enough to have something to show for it, even if it was just some notes in a book. Or
but to have something there, like one time
to further grow on.
Yeah, further grow, like, and just get it like done, you know, get it done. I think one time I was told like done is 100 times better than perfect, because once you're done, at least you can build from that.
Yeah, you can move on
versus trying to get something perfectly. You might never get it done because like it's never good enough. But once it's done, you can build on that, you know.
I think that's a huge thing I've really learned in like designing and making clothes and garments and accessories. It's like you really just gotta make it. I've had so many topics and designs and projects I wanted to make, but I've never done. I had a friend tell me something similar to that. He's like, man, well, you just need to get that shit done, and then maybe you can move on to the next thing. Maybe you'll be better at the next one, and at least you'll have it done. You don't have to talk about it anymore, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, it is about making it happen for sure, but something that is important to realize is, like, not everything will be perfect, but you can sure as hell get close to it.
Get close, yeah, and like just build on it. Yeah, just build on it,
And if you can do that with somebody, that works sometimes really easily. Like, I've worked with a few people here in town. You have met Mark from Pinnacle Couture, and I don't know, I've worked with him, and it's just another thing is like we both want to eat. So I think if you can work with someone that has the same ambition or wants to eat, I think it's easier to get better at something. You realize what your strengths are. Your homie can show you, or
it's kind of,
you can get criticism. I don't know. It just working in a group is great as much as being like a single. Yeah, like
being surrounded by like-minded individuals pushes you more.
Yeah, even just being surrounded by them is
just
great.
being in contact with them, because
it's nice to like just talk. Like, you know, you want to hang out with somebody and you end up talking business in a matter of design sense.
Just bouncing off ideas.
We didn't really kick it, but we definitely hung out, you know. Like we were enjoying each other's company. We just happened to be talking about that.
That's just part of the conversation, you know.
It's interesting.
It's a more meaningful, more like a bit more of a conversation that builds more, versus like just talking about like stupid stuff, you know.
Well, anyone can talk about what they want to do all day, but if you can't talk about what you could do with someone else all day, like to make cooler stuff, whatever it is,
exactly,
then I don't know. I mean, I'd rather get more done sometimes than less. And if that means I can only make 5 hats myself, but if I have help I can make 25, I should probably just get the help.
For sure,
as long as it's good help, or we're making some moves or something.
Something's happening from it.
Something positive, you know. And then even if that just means like our skills are getting better, you know, maybe we ain't making money or anything. It's just like,
but there's that return, sure. like that return of investment. Like, you're putting something, you're getting something out, because whether it be something tangible, like money that you make off of it, or something intangible, like you better your skills. I don't know, your skills at construction or pattern making, or you better your skills at networking and or leadership or relating to others, whatever. But you obtain something from it.
Yeah, I think just that's the whole point, though, right? Like, why would you just hang out with anybody for? It sounds bad, I guess, but for nothing. Like, there's got to be some value to it.
No, yeah,
some
no,
sense.
no, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like any form of.
No, and it's reality. Like, everybody hangs out with somebody or does something because there's some value to it.
Yeah,
now you want to do it.
Like you're valuing their company or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
saying,
You're enjoying the conversation. You value the company, but exactly, it's like you. Everything we do is because we obtain something that benefits us from it some way or another.
Yeah, I don't know people who like want to do or hang out with people that aren't gonna help them, because it'll affect you bad. Like when you're hanging out with people that
are bringing you down or negative
or don't want to advance themselves. It kind of will hold you back. Maybe you like. You won't have those ambitions, but you'll be surrounded by it, and it kind of just will hold you. Like, oh, well,
you'll be kind of it's kind of like
let's kick it instead of do this or something.
Like
or maybe I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like how they say like you are the average of the people you hang around with.
Yeah. It
like
makes sense though, right?
It's kind of like if you want to stop smoking, you can't hang around smokers because you'll eventually go back to smoking.
Yeah. Well, you could be strong after you've progressed with yourself, and I think that's like something is like people think you got to cut off things, maybe, but you really just got to focus on yourself, and that's cool. Like I don't know how many like friendships I've had where we just don't talk for a minute, and then when we do, we just link up, and it's like we're
fresh,
both just doing great.
Yeah,
or like something is better in our lives, and it's not just because we've hung around each other or not hung around each other. We focus on our things, and I think that's important. Is focus, I guess, aside from a lot of what we've been on topic of, like pretty much just like personality type things, focus is big, like maybe all these variables and factors we've been talking about just make us lose focus, and it's not about what we want to do or how good we think we are. We just ain't focused enough to do anything at the time, at least. Maybe that's another rough for people. Maybe not everyone goes through that. I don't know, but focus is hard to attain for sometimes.
No, I think it's it's really hard. Like kind of like it requires knowing a lot about like who you are and what you want and where you want to go, because you can't focus unless you know what to focus on.
Yeah, you cannot dress up that.
I think sometimes a lot of people don't know who they are first and foremost. Start off. So how can they focus on something where they don't even know who they are, what they stand for, what they believe for, where they want to go, what they want to achieve? Like you can't have focus. You don't have that foundation. A lot of people don't have that focus because they're just going about their lives, kind of just being whatever, just existing, not living.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's
just existing, point. Just like another day, but they're not.
It's easy to though. I mean,
it's convenient.
Recently, I realized, damn, I gotta do this every day, man. Like I just woke up and I just felt like I just went to sleep, and now I got to do this again, and it's like the same, which is tight. It's how you utilize your time. How you use your focus, or your skills, or whatever.
Yeah, and of course, like say,
it's a wild life.
Yeah, and like you say, it's easier just to be like existing because it's just convenient. You don't have to worry about much. You don't have to achieve much.
Yeah.
You don't have to struggle. It's just normal. But like for people like yourself or I, that just can't be like a way of being because it's just not who we are.
I just gotta see things happen.
Yeah,
and I want to. Not just things. I want to see objects, or I don't know, anything. I just want to see from one thing to the next, and I want to be on top of that.
Yeah,
I think that's
cool.
the point. Like how you're saying.
I totally get you. And at least for yourself, what's next, man? What's in the future? What are you planning to do? What's gonna happen?
What in the future? I'm focused on getting strong. I got in an accident, and I'm gonna try and rebuild my strength. Make sure I ain't got problems doing anything. But other than that, I'm gonna just hustle my ass off. I'm gonna make as much clothes and hats as I can. I want to try and sell a lot of vintage clothes, and in a year, I'm gonna leave Las Cruces. I'm not sure where yet. I'm gonna really like build up my portfolio right now.
Yeah, and just kind of have that.
Yeah, it's not like a resolution or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like my reality. Like, I got slowed down, and I'm ready to catch up.
Yeah, you're gonna take off running, huh?
So I'm ready to be about
Hit the ground running.
I'm gonna be on it. So I think for 2018, I think everyone should expect a lot of new hats.
Cool.
And a lot of new fits and styles.
Bags? Are you gonna the bags? Is that the bags?
We're definitely gonna be having a bunch of bags, a few different
up.
varieties. There is a bunch of stuff in the making. I've spent a good amount of time prepping everything. So now I just got to get on to making it.
Oh,
Show the
that's
results,
cool.
so
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
I look
I'm
forward
I'm
to
excited to see your stuff.
showing that.
Hopefully, we can also be in the future markets. You know, like we had in
Yeah.
local. From what I've been told, that once happen every once a month. So hopefully, we'll maybe see you this month if it doesn't happen until next
I'll
month. But
definitely.
if not,
I'm
we'll start
open to
doing
be in
something.
any kind of place I can show you my stuff.
Yeah,
Anybody out there that needs to see it, shoot me a DM with a
DM.
location. I'll definitely
With
come
stats.
up with my trunk. Yeah, I'll come up with a trunk for you.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And where have you thought about if where you said you were gonna leave? What are some places that you're thinking about, man?
Well, I'd like to focus on like getting a little corporate job for a little while and seeing how that is. You know, I'd like to make with other people's money. Sounds tight. Fail with other people's money. Sounds tight.
Less of a risk.
I think also one thing I'm really focused on is trying to go to 2 different shoe construction workshops so I can learn how to make shoes. It's kind of similar to a hat in a way that it's 3-dimensional. So that's something I have a big interest in. So I'd considered working in a manufacturing plant, honestly.
Yeah,
I think it would be kind of cool to
Just to
really
learn how to
attain
do
my
that.
skills at making shoes. And so New Balance has one on the East Coast. And then there's
there's
San Antonio
there's
shoes
Tony
as
Lama
well.
right here in El
Yeah,
Paso.
El Paso has all kinds of places. So I mean,
It's
there's
boots,
no
but
there's no, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to like work in a manufacturing plant.
yeah, for sure.
Because
Like
there's some beauty to that.
Mhm,
I think
mhm.
there's nothing like seeing a bunch of stuff being made, and
Mhm.
it's like you helped be a part of that, whether it's like clothes or shoes or
Yeah.
boots or
Whatever.
a project or whatever. It's pretty tight. So I don't know. I think I would like to do that as a consideration. I'm gonna apply. I'd like to infiltrate the. I'd like
corporate America.
I'd like to infiltrate the luxury markets. Honestly, I
Yeah,
think that like I'm in the direction of accessories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. You know, all these nice leather goods, and maybe don't gotta be leather for all y'all out there, but. Hey, whatever is going to be the most quality kind of thing, I think I'd like to be a part of that.
Part of that, yeah. I think that's amazing. I think it's super cool. Just kind of like be in that environment and surround yourself with that, and kind of just
no, definitely. The
think that's
environment
super
of,
cool,
like,
dude.
What's the nicest? I mean, as although it comes back to like a weird, bad circle from how I was talking earlier. I think it's just a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah.
It's like nice quality stuff. So
yeah, for sure.
How nice can we make some stuff? Let's see.
Yeah, how nice can we make it, right?
Yeah, like how far can you push luxury with sport or something like that?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I think that the future has got some cool things ahead of us. I mean, with 2017's last year being just crazy for sneakers itself, I think that 2018 and then forward on is just gonna keep going and going. It's gonna be intense. Like I think we're gonna see some real cool changes in fashion.
What are some of the things you think might happen or come about?
As far as forecasting, I don't know if I could tell you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm qualified for forecasting.
No, it's cool. I don't know. I think that like we're on this like athleisure trend right now, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like almost dressing up with really
workout clothes,
really nice
sort of, yeah.
workout clothes, almost in that matter. And I think that's like something that we're gonna continue to push on, more of a resort style wear. I think it's just gonna continue to rise for there. As far as the other things go, you'll just have to wait and see what I make. I think before I can really give you away some trends, man.
You're gonna hold us to that.
I will. You'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see
Classified
You'll see
information?
some good stuff. Yeah, I got books of design I've been working on for a while now. So it's time to make everything in these books real.
Oh wow, that's cool. Well, that's super cool, man. I'm excited. I'm glad you're doing all this, and glad that we're hanging out and we're talking about this, and I'm excited to see what's up, man. I'm gonna hold you to that purse, the bag. I'm sorry, purse.
Oh yeah, hey, bag, burst. I ain't care. Everything's unisex. Why?
Yeah.
We're in the same world.
Why make it complicated, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one needs to be told that they can't wear something anyway if they want.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly. That's what I think. It's like I do reach
If
out.
it's a purse, it's a purse.
Yeah,
But, hey, I'm still wearing it.
Yeah, no,
I don't care.
yeah, exactly. Like I do retail management, and when sometimes when customers ask me about certain shoes and stuff like that, they're like, "Is this for guys or girls?" And I'm like, "Well, it doesn't matter." Like, well, I'm like,
Fashion it's a crazy though. It's like if you're down,
yeah, you can wear it.
If
Yeah,
you're down,
because
it's
for example,
fashion. You just
we
gotta
sell a
wear
lot
it.
of like Adidas and Nike, like Stefan Janoski's and stuff like that. Nike says Beast, and then like there's girls who go and buy them, but they're made for men, you know.
Oh yeah,
but they like to rock them, and like nothing wrong with them. Like
first comes with comfort,
Yeah.
second comes with style. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I
It's
mean,
in style.
if you want to wear it and you want to buy it, go for it, man. It's you shouldn't be thinking about like, oh, I can't do this or something like that, you know.
I think
Like-
we're lucky too to be able to even say it like that. You know. Some,
Yeah, no,
like,
and-
people definitely get beat around for like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
no, and
it's cool.
you know,
I'd
and
like to push it.
and you know what's so
people feel better
interesting is
about it.
that, like, just people like and I know because we've studied this, but people like almost every fashion except for the bra was first made for men.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And first
It's
worn for men, you
crazy.
know?
Heels,
Heels,
bags, some
like
panties
skirts,
probably.
dresses, and everything, you know what I mean?
Everything, yeah.
Was first made for men, and then women later followed the adoption.
But then
And like makeup and wigs and all that stuff was first worn by men, you know. And it's now it's all like they're so defined. I'm like, no,
yeah,
why?
I think
don't.
there's like a big fragility and masculinity, or however you say that. You know,
Yeah.
people are kind of scared to like admit like how I guess they feel. I don't know. Back to full circle almost again.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's kind of weird. Like people ain't always want their children wearing something they wouldn't have worn.
Yeah.
It's like
But it comes like you say, like when it comes to fashion, it's doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah,
If you
love
like
it.
it, you
If
like
you
it. And
like
it
it,
is what
you
it is.
like
It is what it is, you know.
sick, yeah.
It is what it is. Like I mean, like now we live in a society where it's like fashion is something we can wear to like to us look aesthetically pleasing for ourselves. Versus before, it's like fashion was pretty much something you wore to protect yourself from the weather, you know.
Yeah, definitely from the
From
elements.
The
to,
elements,
like,
but
looking royal.
but now it's like we wear things because we want to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's beautiful. There's stories to
Yeah.
go with everything. You know, it's just like how you dress out when you go on Friday nights or when you just staying in.
Home,
how you
yeah.
in your dress. You know, some people be dressed straight, flame up, nice, straight good fits all day.
Yeah,
up in
yeah.
their house, even they ain't going nowhere.
Even if
still
and
looking
I know
fresh.
people like that. They're like they're super like fresh, looking clean as fuck, and they're not doing anything. They're just in a house. And there's people who dress like on the streets like if they were gonna go to bed, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So I don't know. I'd like to see where I can make people feel.
Yeah,
like
kind of
it's
explore
supposed-
that. Explore
yeah,
that.
I think that's kind of cool. Like whether it's a hat or a pair of sunglasses or something like that.
Mhm.
You know, a bag even.
I think that's so cool. That's so cool. Well, before we wrap up, man, where can people follow you? Where can people find you? What's your
Yeah. So
your location?
I'm working on it. I'm based in Las Cruces for the time being, here up in Mesilla. Working on a store setting, so hopefully by real soon we'll be able to have some footage in here and have maybe some live DJ or something, have an event.
Yeah, you have a nice place like
But-
this. Like I mean, you can't see it because people are listening, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty legit.
Yeah,
It
I appreciate that,
like they
man.
have a shop. He has a shop and he has like legit sewing machines. I mean, he ain't fucking around. He ain't got that Walmart
Yeah,
sewing
let's-
machine. He
let's
got
get it. Let's
he
eat.
got
Let's
some
eat.
So he got some Industrial Revolution sewing machine up in this,
no doubt. But yeah,
powered
so
by windmills and
there's some power here.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, and
but
he
if you want to
has-
see some of this power, there's definitely you can check out my Instagram. It's Zayer Gray, ZaerGrey. That's just a little personal one. I haven't been playing with it much, but I've got something else going on. It's called SNS Vintage VTG, and just expect to see some fresh threads that
Yeah.
you ain't seen from no one but the movies and hip
Ah.
hop videos
Yeah, yeah.
and childhood type of
That's
thing.
what's up. That's
We'll
what's up.
get you going with this style, and everybody, let me know. But yeah, up in here in Las Cruces, hopefully we'll see where it goes. I'll be working on a good actual like web store very
Mhm,
soon.
mhm. Oh, you
I
already
just-
have one, right? Like kind of like
yeah, I have a big cartel. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
check it out. It's Caps and Gear.
Yeah, don't worry.
Big
We'll
cartel.
put all your links in the video. So
But,
I mean,
it's tight.
they'll
But
be
yeah, I
there.
appreciate that. Yeah, so hopefully you can find me there. I would like to be up and around. So if you guys got places you'd like to have some fresh vintage or handmade clothing, let me know. I'll be happy to serve up anywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. We'll go ahead and we'll put your links for your Instagram, your accounts, your whatever links you say right now on our description, and so hopefully people can check you and follow you up and see what's up, man. I mean, hopefully we can have you in El Paso again
Hell
for
yeah.
our next market. If not, we'll see what's up. I mean, we're ready to make moves. 2018.
Big shout out to the Swell Kids for sure. You as well.
Yeah.
Pinnacle Couture. I'm going to give it out to one other homie. And as all y'all. So thank you for the love. We'll see. I'd like to keep in touch and see where we can make some more.
Awesome,
moves.
cool. Yeah, awesome. Sounds good. Well, that's been all for today, guys. Hopefully you like the podcast. If you don't, well, screw yourselves. But if you do, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. For the moment, that's all from myself and from Zach, and we'll catch you guys later.
Much love.
Later.